Uh, so I'm downloading the VOD from earlier, the stream from earlier, and it gave me some ad in like Arabic, and apparently pressing the green what's it called, check mark was good because it said something like Zach back. I don't know what that means. I'm scared I might have downloaded something I didn't want. But yeah, we're back as Pope Tay. I put those levels from the deacons into health, and I think in strength. So yeah, we did something. Forgot what. But Pope Tay will remember soon. And Pope Tay will be accompanied by a homie soon. Stuff happened, but everything happens. You know how it be. So yeah, I think the next box would be the undead Abyss Watcher people. They're next. So yeah, let's get it. Now, if I remember how to get to them, please just bear with me here. I think it was down the ladder where I got those two people to kill themselves. And if so, I'm not a complete idiot like I thought I was. Insanely rude. Ooh, big bonk. Or bigger bonk, wow. Alright, so there's quite a few things here. There's an undead bone shard, Estus shard, Titanite chunk. There's a few things here. What? Draven. Please don't be up here. Please say I have something to counter this. I do. It's called a sword. great sword is here as well. Just a shard. Titan shard. A little off-putting that there's an invader just around here doing God knows what. But it's whatever. Whatever happens, happens. Suck. Wow. That's harder. That was a cool weapon he had, though. There's a crack dragon right there, and I ain't looking to fuck with that. I call the really skinny ones that do massive amounts of damage in very small time. I think it's a very fitting name. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. I can use the great sword with two hands. Titanite shard. Hell yeah. I'm actually continue using the claymore. This is such a good weapon. I'm just trying to walk through this mud. I don't know if there was one in Elden Ring, but every FromSoft has to have a swamp of some kind. I guess... No, because... No, please. You stay down there. We'll be good. Motherfucker. I hate those things so much. That's the second one down. Now there's a stray demon we could kill. And then there's a... Okay, you're messing my shit up. Good. Fucking made it. Goodness gracious. Fair and Keep. I have mixed opinions on it, but it has one of my favorite boss fights ever. And you guys didn't know, it's the walkers, what are they called? Yeah, they're my favorite. It's kind of contradictory that I can't remember their name. They're my favorite boss. I think they're the Abyss Watchers. Pay real close attention to the, yeah, they're Abyss Watchers. I'm not an idiot. Completely. Here's the stray demon. Just be here. I don't know about y'all, but the drip go hard. think that saved me? Oh, please say it did. Not too sure. Uh-oh. Please, 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 please. Okay, it didn't kill me. It saved me. But, like, he's full health now. And that's a big issue. Well, bigger issue is I could have been dead. It's not much of a sauce base. I mean, he's a middle. Lots of soul. Yeah, no, you can't throw that. Yeah, see? Easy. Didn't even die once. I don't need anything over there. I don't think. Over there's a crystal lizard, a bunch of enemies, and nothing else. Nothing I can do. Use my shard and use my other shard. Yeah, turn into ashes, can level up. This is going swell, fellas.
Well, very then Hick.
Endurance is a really big thing. Alright, I have the soul of this sumbitch.
Welcome.
Oh.
Very then Hick. Farewell, I shall meet.
I have no other stuff. Might be able to sell a weapon or two. Tool or outfit or
Just wasn't
something.
pretty big like that.
Oh, the cold.
Just good, wasn't he? Well, well. I'd heard one of the crystal sages had sided with Farron's Abyss Watchers. I suppose it must be true.
Yeah, see, I knew their name was Abyss
You
Watchers.
should know. This code is imbued with magic. First one I've ever
Hello?
seen.
There it goes. Hi.
Hello.
Obvious pretty be careful.
So I got invaded by some idiot, right? And I'm like, oh shit, it's early game. He's gonna be strong because everybody who plays Dark Souls 3 is a dickhead.
I guess it wasn't.
And oh no, he sucked.
Yeah.
Like I shat on this dude. Like if shat could be shitted on, it was this guy.
Pretty.
Goddamn.
Yeah. And you know it was bad if I'd be saying shat.
Alright. I believe. Ow.
and I've decided I'm gonna do the DLCs
Ashen.
Oof.
because I want to fight Gale again.
Very then take no.
And you wouldn't want to do that.
Very well.
No,
Then
I
take
fucking love Gale. He was difficult, but he was fun. That's why I didn't like get mad when I fought him.
Ashen one. Welcome.
He was like
Very well. Then touch
definitely
take
one of my favorite bosses in this game. No doubt about it.
Farewell, Ashen one. May
No, there's just this one boss that you have, and then he's like
Yeah.
really difficult, but you can't be mad because it's such a good boss.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that. Like the first time I ever fought a certain boss in Doom. So I can't remember which one DLC it was.
The weird angel one is from the first one, and then
The purple angel bitch.
the one that summoned in things after you punched him. Yeah, it was Vega.
No, not that. I'm referring to the one where, when you spawn into the fight, he already has two in there. It's like two cracked up ones, right?
Oh,
And
that boss! I hate
that
that
boss fucking sucked. Because when I first played that, I was expecting it to be a lot less difficult, or annoying, I guess, because I just kind of had everything, I had a lot of experience in the game, so I put it on Nightmare difficulty. And I regretted it, because holy fuck.
Speaking of regret, I bought 2 Titan shards, right? Level up. And I did it so I can level up the sword, right?
Yeah.
Guess what I found? 2 Titanite shards
Yep.
just sitting on the ground.
Hey, I guess you can keep them for later.
No, I don't need them anymore. It now requires Titanite chunks.
But who knows, you might find a different sword or a different weapon, you might be like, you know what, sure.
Maybe.
You have those, you're just kind of waiting. You never know.
But the thing is with this game, you can pick any weapon, any one weapon, and you can use it till the end. Like, it don't
Yeah.
matter. Like, I used the Butcher's Knife, it does 100 base damage. And I kicked Nameless King in the dick before I stabbed him with that. I
Yeah.
killed Gale with it, before I was actually supposed to fight him. You can make any weapon good by just simply leveling it up. No weapon
Existing,
is bad.
rolling
Daggers
up, and daggers are always ass in basically any game.
They're
Daggers are
horrible in every game, but they're fast, and that's why they're good.
Like it was, like I tried, you know me, I did a dagger run on Elden Ring, one with Reduva, and I did one without Reduvia. Like I did actual daggers. I don't think you were there. I think it was after while you were in school, so I did it on my free time because you were in school. That shit sucks. Do
Oh,
not
I bet.
recommend.
Daggers
It
do
is.
like 28 damage when the high or the lowest damage for I don't know, like a regular straight sword is 78.
Yeah, the craziest thing about it is that I originally was planning on making it on a level Reduvia, on level dagger run, thinking, you know what, it shouldn't be all too bad. I mean, I've done a all level katana run at one point. Yeah, no, I almost immediately was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and level these things up, and then try it out. Then I was like, oh, I don't think one's gonna fit, so I got two of them. And then I was finally able to do some damage, but even then it was like nothing. Like daggers are the worst weapon. Except for the Reduvia blade, and Elden Ring at least. That was fucking goated.
Daggers in this game suck as so much balls.
But
There's only one dagger in this game that doesn't suck, and it's a dual weapon for a giant sword. It's the Farron Watcher's or Farron Blade. It's like a karambit style weapon.
Yeah.
It's not even used to do much. You don't really use it in the combo. It's just like a little poke and then shing shing with a giant sword. But yeah, daggers suck.
Bet.
There's no sugarcoating it. There's no maybe. No, they suck. They look cool, but they're bad.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, that is damage. Cool thing about Dark Souls games, like Dark Souls, you don't have to two-hand your weapon for the damage. You can one-hand that weapon. It's much better.
That's actually really cool.
And
good.
Dark Souls 3 armor, it does not matter. It gives you no benefits whatsoever. You can just use it to look cool.
Damn.
Get a mini-me. No, not him. Him. Oh, how do you said it the wrong person. Big mistake stopping in front of me, boyo. And
Damn, got hit with a boy.
one-handing the weapon also like decreases the amount of stamina you use in the swing.
It decreases?
Yeah, like it doesn't use as much stamina to swing it. So the game kind of encourages you to like one-hand a weapon.
That's a
Especially,
bit
like, with a
odd,
giant sword.
honestly. I expected
like
that to be a bit different.
Me too, but like.
I think it'll be the other way around.
I'm getting more hits in. I don't care.
That's fair, but like at the same time, it makes zero fucking sense.
Well, to swing a sword with two hands, you use both your arms, right? And that uses more energy. But if you do it with one hand, you can just flail that bitch around and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And it works.
But also at the same time, it's like, if it encourages you to do that with basically everything, especially big weapons.
But like, it's cool.
But if it's especially with like bigger weapons, that would make zero sense. It's like if you were to give a dude a like 9 feet long war axe and be like, hey, one hand this bitch. I mean, he could do it, but like, that's not really good because it's really long and it's probably really heavy because of how long it is, and the center of mass is probably all fucked up. So like, you'll be swinging it and it'll take you fucking 9 years to pull the bitch back up and hit it again. But if it were two-handed, it probably will take a little less long. Like, it just doesn't really seem very practical.
Yeah, but it don't matter. I'm getting more hits in, doing a little less damage, but enough damage. You can one hand the sword, I recommend do it.
Yeah.
Time to get me some new drip. But that's gotta take all my money.
Motherfucker.
Soul of the Blood of Wolf. Yes.
Hello, I have since heard. For one, I too am bound by duty. I hear that cordial, if I can be blessing of them. If blessing.
Dark Moon.
Well,
Ooh.
Very well.
Dark
then
Moon's
take
beautiful. But I'm not gay though.
Ow, fuck.
Not like Gwendolyn over here. Fucking loser.
I have a
But-
migraine.
Just like take your like 2 pointer finger knuckles, like bend your fingers in and put them on like the top of your nose, like in between your eyes. Push down.
Shit.
That's the pressure point from the frontal lobe.
Oh, that feels
Which
good.
is where
Damn.
all migraines happen.
Dang.
You're welcome.
Oh, fuck. Thank you. Jesus. That's
And if
good
it continues
to
to
know.
hurt, do it again and like do little mini circles. Chameleon. Oh, the chameleon. I'm an idiot. Alright, open sesame. I also have this really cool mask that turns my head into a skull.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yes. But I can never get myself to like find the full set.
You know what? That's fair.
I get what I get. I don't really care, and I don't use it unless it looks dope.
That's also fair.
Fall. Okay, this is my least favorite part of the entire game. I hate catacombs. In both Dark Souls 1.
That's fucking fair.
Throw my soul at me? That's rude.
I've seen gameplay and that shit. It does not look fun.
I'm just gonna roll through it all and hope for the best. Ow. What if this
Shit. So you know what I'd seen today?
What did you see today?
It's just like way off topic from your game. But I seen a dude beat the entirety of Minecraft without jumping or using the right click button at all. So basically, like, he wasn't able to break anything, build anything, punch anything, like, at all. And he just decided not to sprint or jump as well. So, like, the only way he could get items was using creepers or something else like that. Or farms.
Bitch.
And the only way he could get up was using slabs or stairs. So if he got into like a 1x1 hole, he was fucked.
Oh, don't do this to me, please. Yes! Oh, thank goodness gracious. I need for this to pass. No, no, please.
Shit, what happened to you?
He comes back to life. Why? Why? Who made you this way?
Who made you this way? Foul creature.
Bonfire, 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 bonfire. La, 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 la.
Whoa!
Wow!
You know, the one thing I think the Souls-like game should have kept, like, as a whole, throughout the franchise. No. I was gonna say the bonfires.
Oh my god, yes. I don't
Like,
know.
I think-
I understand for Bloodborne, right? Bloodborne, I get it. But in Demon Souls, there was bonfires. And I think they should have kept it.
I also kind of think they could have kept the bonfire in Elden Ring too. But yeah, like both Bloodborne and Dark Souls, like all of that, are resting points are actually really good. I like both of the aesthetic of it. Gotta love Bloodborne.
I liked the Lies of P resting point. Those looked cool.
That too, it did look really good.
I just think the Grace is a little basic. It's just a light.
It's literally just a crystal that shines piss yellow and points in one direction. You're like, oh,
Cool.
that way.
It's supposed to go that way. I don't like how the game kind of led you. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it kind of just grabbed your hand. It was like, hey, this way. And if you don't do that, then go ahead and do whatever you want. But it was kind of like open world, but they
Dark
kind of
Souls
guided you.
And it's with Dark Souls and Bloodborne
But I get that,
and Demon
though.
Souls. It all let you do what you wanted to do. Or, well,
But either way, you will still be going
but
down
it
one
didn't guide
path, though.
you. You go down one path, but there's a lot you can do on that singular path.
And if you weren't meant to be there, you weren't meant to be there.
Oh yeah, it'll let you know.
It'll be like, hey, ho ho ho, can't go there, buddy.
Watch out, buddy. That guy's gonna kick your shit in.
Yeah. And you're like, no, it ain't. And then you immediately get your shit rocked. Like, well, shit, guess I'm not supposed to be here. But Elden Ring, you can just kind of get anything,
Elden Ring.
anywhere, anytime. I get it, though. I mean, they were kind of bringing a whole new, like, shtick, I guess you want to call it, or whatever, to the Souls-like games, which is very fair. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people, nowadays at least, won't really want to play a game as punishing as Dark Souls. People don't like that shit, but they also do at the same time. It's really weird. So them taking Elden Ring and making it a sort of, it's open world, but still having it be punishing enough for you to be like, fuck, I can't do this just anytime I want. Really difficult for them, but they managed to pull it off, and they managed to make a really good game.
I think
Not
you should
only-
just play Elden Ring as a starter to the FromSoft games.
Yeah, not only is it a good start for newer players, also veterans of the game love it.
Oh yeah, I especially loved it because playing
Exactly.
Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 fucking mentally drained the shit out of me and made me want to kill myself. And when I got Elden Ring, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be the exact same thing, so just gotta power through it. But when I could actually kill a boss without having to actually power level my way through something, I felt good, like I was powerful. And then Melania. And then I figured out how to kill Melania.
And then Melania.
And then Radagon, he was like, hey, you know what? This game's easy, so I'm gonna be the second hardest thing you'll ever fight. Because
Yeah.
I can parry and say no to everything.
Radagon
And then-
was a good fight, but also it wasn't
Radagon
a
was
good
a
fight.
goated fight.
Like, it was a good fight, but it was a bad fight, too.
It's to destroy your left hand first, but it's going into the fog. Come on.
I will admit, though, I think Elden Ring is probably going to be... Like, I don't want to say anything and be horribly wrong, but honestly, I bet Elden Ring could hit Game of the Year again if
With
the
the
DLC
I feel like it
fits the, like, vibe or the what's the word I'm looking here? Standard, that's the word, standards of the original, like actual Elden Ring, and then them releasing the new, fucking something Erd Tree, forgot what it was called. Shadow of the Erd Tree. Then, you know, with that, if it hits the standards of Elden Ring, it's probably gonna hit Game of the Year again. Either that, or come really, really close, because holy shit, if they manage to pull off something, or pull something out of their ass so goddamn good again, not only do I think they can actually make their own official title, like not having anyone else really just there, like having FromSoft be their own company, I feel like it can also probably just kind of get Game of the Year again. Because not only will it be deserved, just overall a good fucking game. Like, really, really good game. Do I think it's gonna be good? Yes. Do I have high hopes? Yes. Am I expecting the DLC to be as big as Elden Ring itself? No. I am not expecting the DLC to
I'm not
be
expecting the
equally as
DLC to
large or
a
larger.
second Elden Ring. I think it's just going to be just a little mini add-on, a little new map. You know, like the Skyrim,
Mhm.
the other place where you go
Yeah, I know
meet
what you're talking
the
about.
real Dragonborn. I think it's gonna be like that. A little map. It's gonna be big, but there's gonna be not as big, but there's gonna be a lot to do there.
I feel like there's either going to be two things that's going to happen. Like there's going to be two paths they can walk down. Either one, it's going to be a very small map with a very few bosses, but a shitload of new weapons and armor. Or it's going to be an absurdly large map with a lot of bosses, but not as many weapons and armor types added. Because it's either going to be one of those two. Or
Either way,
they could
I'm
just throw a
cool
fucking
with it.
curveball and make us just have a basic entire fucking second game. Is that possible? Possibly.
I have a
Is it
weird
going to happen?
feeling.
Probably not.
If it's if the name of it is the Shadow of the Erd Tree, right?
Mhm.
I have a weird feeling it's gonna be like Melania's Halig Tree, just with a little bit more open up area. Because you're going into an Erd Tree, and what are they gonna do with that? Are they just gonna make a whole new area with a giant tree in the middle, like they did with the regular map? Or are they gonna like introduce a little small area with a tree, and then you have to scale that tree and then talk to people? I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
I feel like there's so many ways they can go with it, but I feel like the best thing that I can think of is either going to be two entryways. Either one is going to be the actual fucking Erd Tree, the one where after you killed Radagon and the Elden Beast, that's where you enter it through, is that place. Or two, like you said, Melania. Now,
Another Halig Tree.
Melania's area is the roots of the Halig Tree, correct?
I think so.
It's literally
where
the
she
Halig
is
Tree's roots.
the roots.
So,
If they do something with the Halig Tree and be like, oh yeah, the DLC, you can go on top of it now, I'm gonna be very, very upset because of how hyped up it's gonna be.
well, at the same time, they shown off like the screenshot with it, and we got to see what it was and all that basically through the screenshot. And right off the bat, it does not look like it's gonna be up. And then if it was gonna be up where the roots are, it definitely would not be that dark where the area
I don't
is.
think it would be the Halig Tree at all, because
I feel like it's going to be beneath the actual Erd Tree.
Erd Tree.
Because that's the only.
After you
Because
kill, like what you said, after you kill Radagon and the Elden Beast and
Yeah.
kill the tree. Yeah,
it would make more sense because not only in the screenshot it looks a lot like the golden
giant tree.
plains, and also the giant tree is golden. It has gold and it has black, man, Lucas. It's Shadow of the Erd Tree, and yet again, it is literally called Shadow of the Erd Tree. So it would make sense that they made it the fucking Erd Tree where you are. Now, if they did not do that, it wouldn't really surprise me, but at the same time, why the fuck call it the Shadow of the Erd Tree? But like the whole aesthetic of the screenshot that we got, like the teaser of it, right off the bat, it showed the tree, it showed the golden husk of it, and it showed the shadow, hence the name. And it also showed that the grass is a very golden yellow color, and showing off that it was very underground. It was very dark, dimly lit, so therefore probably implying that we're either going to be constantly underground in here, or the place we're in is just being covered by the Erd Tree, shadowing it completely in darkness.
If it's
So
something
it's probably going to
underground,
be
I
a
think that would be
horror
pretty
aesthetic too.
If it's something underground, it'd be pretty cool because they did stuff with the underground area, but they didn't. I feel like they didn't do enough. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty dope.
I also
That is
would-
where Godwin, the brother who died, that's where he like lived. He lived beneath
Yeah.
the tree in the Shofra River or whatever that place is called, where Fia's
Yeah.
champion is. I have high hopes.
I do
And
too. And
I
knowing
wouldn't really feel bad if they get crushed because there's not a lot to work with, and I can understand that.
But honestly, yet again, knowing FromSoft and how their other DLCs have been, especially the ones that only have like 1 or 2 DLCs, they've been pretty fucking big. Except for like that one game, forget which one it was, but it had like 4 DLCs in the span of like a week, and we're like, what the fuck? But they were really small DLCs. But the rest have been at least maybe 1, 2, possibly 3 if we're lucky, but they're decently large DLCs.
Impactful.
Yeah. So knowing that Elden Ring is only getting 1 DLC, and it's been in the works ever since the game has been released, basically, because they had intentions of it being made. Knowing it's only 1, having a title that big, a screenshot of this much detail, knowing how the game's size is, and it's still going to be open world, it either could mean it's going to be decently large, really large, or just a shitload of stuff packed in a small place. But another theory going around that I've actually heard, and I actually kind of agree with it hinting the name Shadow of Erdtree, it's going to be a very horror aesthetic. So it's going to be very dark, very grim, and kind of just a scarier playthrough instead of it just being all bright and everywhere you can go is technically safe if you have a good weapon. But in this place, it's going to be like the opposite. No matter where you are, you feel unsafe. Hinting the name Shadow. So like where you are, it's constantly covered in the shadow of the Erdtree, so you can't really see. It's going to be like a plane of just darkness. Which would be really cool, and I think it would be really unique if they actually do it. Will they? I don't know. If it's true, that would be awesome, but I don't think it is.
I think this DLC that they're coming up with might be the only reason why I'd, like, genuinely get back into Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Because we all know, we both know why I stopped playing. The map got boring to me.
Which is fair.
I just needed something a little new. I've been everywhere. I've seen everything. I've killed everything. I've gotten everything.
I mean, yeah,
think
you've
that
fully 100% the game before, so like...
I think they need to come out with new achievements, and then that'd be like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
big,
I'm gonna
yeah, the
beat
new
this,
DLC.
then get the achievements.
The DLC is 100% going to have a shitload more achievements. It's kind of how DLCs are. Like, every DLC is going to have new achievements in the game. Just kind of how it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
except
like,
for Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 didn't have any achievements of killing anything or doing anything in the DLCs. That's because the game was completed before the DLCs came out. This game, would you say that Elden Ring is completed?
no. Not really. Because if you think about it, it's like, technically speaking, it would be.
Patch noting stuff. They're still nerfing things. They're still making things fair
But yet
and
again,
unfair.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably agree with it now actually saying it out loud. No open world is complete. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is 0 open world games that are still like complete. Like every single one of them is having some form of patch or something new coming to the game. Like think of the Very Paradox from Warframe. It's technically open world, and that shit is constantly being updated.
But they're getting new updates twice every week.
I know. And there's other games that are older, like Genshin Impact. That's technically an open world game, and that shit is getting so much updates and so many bug fixes. Elden Ring is no exception. There are so many patches being updated, and the updates, granted, are not as frequent, but they are very large updates. They're patching up weapons, bugs, visual bugs, the weapon bugs, everything. So the game is never going to really be fully complete until they leave the project and go into another one. Which I do not think will be anytime soon.
Another 2-3 more years, because that's how I was really upset, but I kind of wasn't for like Sekiro, right? It came out a year before, or when did Elden Ring come out? 2022. It came out 3 years before Elden Ring, and they were in the middle of making a DLC for it. But then they stopped.
Probably because they were focusing on Elden Ring.
Yeah, and everything in Elden Ring, like all of Millennia's stuff there, was gonna be in Sekiro.
I know.
And I think that would have been fucking awesome.
I do know that a lot of games do that, but they don't really announce it or anything. Like there's a shitload of games, like fuck, what was that game called? Hang on, I don't know, I think I have it installed actually.
Wolong?
Fuck. No, not Wolong. Shit.
Wolong was a good game. I enjoyed it.
That was a good game. It's a really, really good game.
I liked that it was a Dark Souls type game, and it was multiplayer, and even after you beat a boss, you did not have
Like resummon the person.
to resummon the person.
Yeah, I agree. That was
That
awesome.
was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
If it didn't have that, I'd be a little upset, but the game was still super good.
Yeah, even though they did promise a lot of things and didn't really stick up to it, like with the apparently like amazing graphics, and it just kind of looks like that.
The graphics weren't everything, but the gameplay.
It was great, and the designs and the outfits and all that were really good. The character customization was great. Everything about it was just a good game. And it kind of obsessed me that
One issue I had was the damage, like level up system.
oh yeah, that was
Level up your weapons and armor. The only way to deal real good damage to a boss is if you got every checkpoint in the game. And you couldn't
Yeah, I
fill
agree
your
with that.
flask
That
until
was
you get a new checkpoint.
the only thing I actually kind of get upset about with that game is that you basically see no one talking about it. Like it's a really good and unique game. I mean, granted, yes, some games are out there that are very similar to it, but it brought a different twist to the Souls-like games, and it was overall just a really unique style to Souls-like, and no one's really talking about it. I've never seen any really
The
content on
attacking
it.
system, the defensing system, it was perfect. Not a lot of people would agree with me. I don't even, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But I liked the parrying system where you just dodged into the
Oh, yeah.
sword instead of having to like press an entirely different button.
I really
One
liked
button
that.
did two things. It was amazing.
It was a very simple
concept.
mechanic
I liked
and a very simple concept. Yeah, it was just overall a very simple but yet very impactful game. I think a lot of games should do that more often instead of just having these stupidly complicated controls and making it very
Sekiro,
obnoxious
I was
to
going
do
to
that.
say, like, Sekiro should do that, but then I was like, no it shouldn't, because its dodge isn't really impactful, but it does something. But
Yeah, like some
it's
people use it.
mainly about learning how to actually parry in the game. And I thought that was really cool, because it makes you feel awesome when you get that perfect parry, and it just gives you like the happiness drug. I loved it.
There's a lot of people who disagree with the statement of like if the game aims to get one thing done and do it right. People disagree with that. They want stuff like Elden Ring where you can kind of do whatever you want. But if you think about it, a lot of games that sort out to do that one thing and do it good became a very beloved game franchise like Doom. Doom Eternal's like whole point was basically being like, you use basically everything and anything at the same time, but it's all strategized and it's forcing you to do that. You can't. I mean, you can do it, but it's not really
You
as
don't
fun
have to
until
use
you
the ice
do
bomb, you don't have to
every
use the
single
fire
thing.
breath, you don't have to use the grenade, you don't have to use the meat hook, you don't have to use the mods, but it's all there so you can.
And if you do use it all at the same time and utilizing every single mechanic, basically putting your brain in fucking overload. But when you do it, it makes the game so unbelievably fun because you're basically just denying
You're like,
every enemy.
holy shit,
You're a god.
I just stopped that enemy because I used an ability that didn't have to be used. That
And
guy,
the
that
main-
big monster, frozen, he can't move.
The main reason why I enjoyed that a lot, and a lot of games should do it more often, is like this. No matter where you are in the game, every single item you collected, every gun, every upgrade, every grenade, every flame belt, everything, no matter where you are, it still has an impact in the game. You can use the base shotgun like you did throughout the entire game and still be able to succeed. You can use any weapon in the entire arsenal and it still does it no matter where you are, because the game designed it to be that way. And I think a lot of games should do that more, like, and even Dynasty. Long Dynasty did that. Like, its whole point was basically no matter where you were or what you were doing, you were still doing something. And that's why they did that new like, damaging / leveling up system, where sometimes you couldn't do much damage unless you grab those flags or whatever. But they added those flags there so you can still do damage even though you might have a fully leveled up weapon. And that's basically what it was doing. No matter where you were or what you were doing, you were still able to play the game fully with those weapons you got previously. And that's what Doom did as well. And I think a lot of people could do that more because it makes the game more fun if it's strictly designed to do one thing and do it good. And most games don't do that.
What I said about the weapons, you can use any weapon you want. And all the level up characters are very common. And it's just never like it won't like fuck you over if you're not using the right weapon. Because in Dark Souls 1, there were weapons that did more damage to other people, like pierced in more, slashed it blunt, right? But in this game, you can just use any fucking weapon you want. It wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
I think a lot of games do that now, and I think that's just use what you want.
And I think that's why Elden Ring became a very beloved Souls-like game, Souls-like experience, mainly because of that reason. A lot of people, again, don't like being forced to do something, but when it comes to a game that allows you to, or makes you do it because it's fun, it makes sense. But if it doesn't really make any sense to force you to use something, like a very unfun mechanic, like say there's a mechanic in the game, like let's say you're playing COD, right? And it forces you to play the game with a gun that you fucking despise. It's useless, it doesn't do that much damage, it's not really
That's what I
fun,
didn't like about
but you
Modern Warfare
are
2.
forced to do it.
Modern
Like, you
Warfare
are forced
2,
to.
if you wanted more weapons and more attacks, you had to use a different weapon. And sometimes it was a weapon I didn't like. Like the Farah 415, I think it was called. It was a semi-automatic weapon. It was not my favorite.
Yeah. And that's why certain games that have the ability to, like open world games, they shouldn't do that because of it being a game like that. And that's why I also think COD shouldn't do that as well, because its whole point is basically like, use a gun you like, upgrade it, and you go and do it. That's why I loved Black Ops 2. You didn't really have to unlock weapons, upgrades, like anything. You just by using the gun, you unlocked it. It's just very basic. It's a mechanic. In the Modern Warfare 2 basically said, fuck it, let's just make them use other guns that they don't like to level up a rifle. Like I'll be using a shotgun, and I want to get a certain laser sight or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you got to go over there and level up a sniper rifle for it. It makes zero sense. No. It's completely unrelated to a shotgun at all. Shotgun's up close, sniper's long range. What the fuck? That makes zero sense. And I think a lot of game developers should begin to just allow you to do whatever you want, but set out to have one goal, and do that one goal correct. Do it the best you can, but still allow people to do whatever they want. Like Elden Ring, they allow you to do literally anything you want. You can go anywhere at any time, no matter what level or how bad of a piece of shit you are. You can go there. But its main goal was to beat the game. It didn't care how long it took. It didn't care how many roads you went, how many bosses you killed early in the game. It didn't matter. Its whole goal was to kill the last boss. It didn't care. So, it's like, what the fuck is the point of me leveling up a gun if I can't even unlock the damn attachment? because I gotta go level up an entirely different other like genre of a fucking gun. That's like it makes zero sense. It's like I'm using an up close gun. Why the fuck make me go out and level up a gun that's completely different play styles, completely different like company basically. You unlock something for a shotgun. It makes zero sense. It's just kind of dumb. It's forcing your players to do something they don't want to do. It's gonna make the players leave. In a lot of game developers, especially FromSoft and other games like Warframe, they've noticed people don't like that. And if they notice that and develop their game with that in mind, their game begins to thrive and play a lot more. It's a pity that no one notices it either. Like major game developers at least. Like Activision is the world's worst at it. Like they fucking butchered Overwatch.
The thing you're talking
Butchered.
about with Doom, right? You have options,
Yeah.
but you don't have to use them. But it would help a little bit more if you did. Same thing could be said about Sekiro with the prosthetic tools. You don't have to use the firecrackers. You don't have to use the shuriken. You don't even have to use the axe. But it's there. You can do it if you want.
I mean,
If it
like,
helps you, if it's your playstyle, go ahead and do it. But you don't have to. And it
I'm a
won't
prime
punish you
example
if you didn't.
as well.
You love that axe.
The axe is
That
like
axe.
my baby in that game. I mean, I don't play the game like I'm necessarily supposed to with the parrying and all that. I kind of cheese my games a lot, and Sekiro is no exception. I mean, you watch me cheese the fuck
Kyobu,
out of Gyobu.
that's not much of a cheese. That's just you being strategic. You knew that his attacks were slower than your posture regain, and you used that, and that was like genius. I didn't know that. I always
That's
thought,
what I
just
do.
Parry.
I'm like that one guy from Ancient History, the world's greatest loser.
Yeah. But he
I fought him
wins,
enough times to
and
realize.
you win, and then like, hold on a second. You studied him,
Mhm.
and then you found out his attacks are really slow, and that you use that to your advantage, and it was
And
genius.
the axe as well. I use the axe for two things: blunt damage, stun damage. Actually, there's two things: blunt damage, stun damage, and posture damage. The axe is able to use hyper armor. Like I can tank through a hit that I normally wouldn't be able to tank through, allowing me to hit them with a pretty high damaging attack, and also pretty high poise damage attack. So if I'm able to hit them with that and immediately parry afterwards, which I do a lot, it does a lot of poise damage, and I take very little amount of damage. They take actual health damage and poise damage as well. I guess how I killed the that one
Swordman.
bugger swordman guy, yeah.
Elite.
That's how I killed him really easily. I was like, you know, I'm gonna use the axe actually. So what I would do is I would parry him, hit him with the axe, parry him again immediately after that because he got stunned from the axe hitting him, and it would just drain his posture so quick that I was able just to instantly kill him really quickly because of the axe insanely high posture damage. You're able to just abuse the game mechanics in a way just to slightly give you a slight buff or a slight nudge towards the end, and that's why I like
Sekiro.
Just
In
one.
the skills menu, it allows you to use your prosthetics more with the spirit emblems, and then the thing I recommend you, Blade and Fang, where you use the axe, immediately attack, and then attack again, and you use both the axe and the sword at the same time.
I actually
That's
got
a-
that recently. It was awesome.
It is so good, and it's like, you don't have to, but it's there on the table, and it will help you. And combat in Sekiro is so good.
Yeah, it was very smooth.
With Ishin, I understand that RNG is a big... Well, it's not really even RNG. It's just sometimes he pulls out an attack that you're not expecting. And
you get
you're
fucked
like,
over
oh,
for it.
whoopsie daisy, I should have been looking out for that. But the fact that it like shows you when you can parry and when you can actually like counter something, helped me out so much in that game. Like the Makiri counter, my goodness, that was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like
It makes you feel cool.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like
it's
Sekiro is a very...
Sekiro did good with its game. Sekiro
Oh yeah, it did a fucking great job,
has
even though...
minimum of 2 flaws. Character development.
That's fair.
There's a few people I hated, and they did not get better. And like, there's this one thing I don't. It's not only me, but sometimes I feel like it's just mainly me. When I fail a parry, and I blame the game, and it's not even. It's just you parry it at the right time, and then
the game doesn't register it.
It doesn't register it, but that's just like happens every 500 hits or so. It doesn't matter. It's not a noticeable thing until it happens. It doesn't really happen often. But it was such... The game was so smooth. The combat was smooth. The not dying part was smooth. The resurrection was awesome. I don't know any other FromSoft game that allows you to resurrect mid-fight so you can keep fighting. The enemies, the bosses... Sekiro has my favorite bosses of all time. Owl, Ishin's, both of them. Genichiro. Like, it all felt fair. And when you look at them, you'd be like, oh shit. Don't do that. Because with Owl, if you hold down your attack, right, you'll do a thrusting attack. He will Makiri counter you, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Because he'll continue to counter me. With Owl, he has a specific role, right? Everybody, when they do a sweeping attack, right, they stop. But with Owl, he keeps going, and I learned that if he does a sweeping attack, I gotta jump up and then back, you know? So I can catch him. Which honestly fucked me over, because I do that for everybody.
Even though I haven't fully played Sekiro or completed it, I do plan on doing that soon, and I am getting my way to it. I mean, hell, I'm playing it soon. I've been playing it for a couple days now. I can say without a doubt, granted, it is not my typical style of game. I don't really necessarily play games like that, but I will say it is a very, very well polished game. I mean, the only complaint I got with it, and it's such a miniature complaint, is that I don't like how the boss music is just basically not there sometimes.
Yeah, the boss music... that's the only downside to the game.
Like,
for me. I know I say that's the only, and then I come up like a minute later saying, oh yeah, that's the only. I'm gonna have a lot of like mistakes with the game, right? But the music could have been there, but I think they did that so you could play your own music and it'll fit with what's going on. Like if you're playing a high-speed music like rap, it'll look cool. If you're playing heavy metal, which is slower but darker, it'll look even cooler. If you're just playing Cupid, it would make a little bit of sense somehow. The game, they took out the music and they capitalized with the gameplay, so it would look good with whatever you listen to. Or you could just listen to the calming, relaxing music of a whistle that Japanese people play. I like it. I like the calming, soothed music of the Miss Noble. I think it's beautiful. But other times, I want to listen to Bumblebee while I'm getting my shit rocked by my dad.
Yeah.
And it works. It's perfect.
I think, personally, I'm just kind of biased when it comes to these type of things. But I think music in games is a very, very crucial part. That's just me personally. But I believe, in my opinion, music in a video game, or anything really, plays a big role. Especially in games like Doom Eternal.
FromSoft games.
And FromSoft, too. Like, Elden Ring's boss music, holy fuck! I loved Elden Ring's boss fight music. That was amazing.
in Dark Souls, some of this music, like for the little not important bosses like Vort to Boreal Valley or the Dancer, they don't have really different music. It kind of sounds similar with a little bit of other tones, a little bit of different, like they took out an instrument and added a new one. But with the major bosses, it has such an impactful sound, like it's all different. With Nameless, it's not just the violin, right? With most bosses, it's an organ. You know, the giant piano?
Yeah.
It has a little snippets of the organ in it, and it works so good. With the Soul of Cinder, the second phase had a little bit of winds, which fucking terrified me at first, but then I was like, that just sounds good. And then it has like this bass guitar in it, and I was like, wow, this is a little hardcore fight, you know?
Yeah.
And not some bosses in this game, like the little mini bosses, they don't have really important music. But the big bosses, they have music that feels so impactful, and I love it.
Yeah, I think like one of my favorite ones, like through Elden Ring wise, was Radahn's music. Radahn's fight music was fucking amazing. I loved every second of Radahn's boss fight. Not only like gameplay wise, just in general, like this fucking music of it was amazing. And the scenery of the place was really good too. Like overall, the boss fight was just fucking great, and it has to do with a big part of the music. Because like, if it's a big and insanely epic boss fight, you're going to have some loud or really epic music to match it. Because of it being such an epic fight, it's just like, let's say you take a random, really epic boss fight from Dark Souls 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remove the music entirely.
It kind of throws it off. Like,
The mood just gets removed because of that reason.
But it doesn't feel as impactful as it would be if you had the music. Music is everything in video games. I know you said that, and I agree with it, and I will continue. I'll add on to it. With let's see, who has impactful music in this game? Soul of Cinder. Let's go with Soul of Cinder.
Yeah.
He is a motherfucker who gives no shits. His music
Yeah.
proves that. He hits hard, he moves hard, he's an aggressor. And the music adds on to it, like heavy metal music on his theme. You're like, oh shit, this guy he ain't playing.
Exactly.
But if you take it away, he just looks like some random dude swinging a sword, and there's nothing like real important about it.
So that's why I didn't
Whenever
really
you
like.
can, or whenever you get the chance to, you should listen to Soul of Cinder's theme.
I've listened
awesome.
to the entire soundtrack of Dark Souls 1 and 3. I didn't know it's Dark Souls 2 though. But the only reason why is because I heard one track from one video and I fucking loved it, and I was just like, I don't know the song's name, and no one commented the song's name, and there was no lyrics or anything, so I just kind of looked up a playlist of Dark Souls 3 and just kept on listening to the entire thing until I found it. It was awesome though. Like every single song was really fucking good. Like the music in Dark Souls is fucking phenomenal.
I agree. Have you listened to the Nameless King theme?
Mm-hmm.
It's there's another thing about impactful music. I keep adding on to this. It's starting to sound annoying to me. But Elden Beast. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, Elden Beast's
is a
music was
giant
good.
beast who
And rock
is a
your
god.
shit if you're not careful.
But the music is so calm.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
It's setting the mood of this might be the last fight, but once it is done, it is done.
it's over.
You are done. You are finally able to rest now. And that's why I really loved that boss fight music.
I found it a little throwing off. Like, oh my god, big fucking giant monster. And then somber music. Like, hold up. Are you sure this is what they were supposed to be playing? Is this the right music? And then I just grown to love it because it's the music I kind of like. I like somber, slow music.
It's a beautiful scenery with a fucking gorgeous
Beautiful boss.
boss fight. Like, not only his weapon, or its weapon, its animations are good, and his body is literal space. It's just literally just a galaxy. And it's just in this vast, open plane of just water, and it's reflecting all this beautiful golden lights and the stars from the beast. It is overall, it's just a beautiful fight, so why not give it beautiful music? It'll be like having that fight and then immediately changing the song to just being aggressive Russian death metal. It wouldn't really make sense because of how beautiful the aesthetic is. It wouldn't make any sense. Now it's also like Radagon's music, way different than
Yeah, his
Elvis.
music was kind of like Soul of Cinders. It was aggressive.
It was dope though.
It was really good. What really... It's like just Soul of Cinders boss music. Like, the last fight. You beat his first phase, and you're like, oh yeah, super hardcore. And then it goes into its second phase, which plays a sadder tone. Because Gwyn's theme was saddening, because he was a king who lost everything trying to get everything, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a sad song. And it plays this music for Soul of Cinder because this is the last time he exists. He's lived forever, and he's ready to die, but he couldn't. And then the Ashen One comes to reunite the flame, or don't, and he gets to finally rest.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but it's like meant to be happy.
It's a sad
happy
fate for the
sadness.
man, but a really good fate for him.
It's good for him, sad for you, cause like, damn, this guy, he's been here his entire life, and this, believe it or not, this happens all in one day. All the FromSoft games, except for Elden Ring, because there's a day and night cycle. But in Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, it all happens in a day.
Bloodborne
Soul
actually happened
Cinder-
only at night. So like only 12
Soul
hours.
Cinder lived in a day. The bosses that were resurrected for the flames to be reunited, they came back to life, and then they didn't try to overtake anything, right? They did what they wanted because they knew the inevitable is gonna happen. A man is gonna come and kill me. But I don't want to go do all this stuff. I want to do what I want.
It's a very dark story. It's basically just saying, like, I know my fate is about to happen. So, like, it's basically walking up to a village of some kind. They're all really, like, they're dying of cancer or something, and they have no form of medication or anything. They're all just dying, and they all know that, like, the reality sinks in. There's no doctor, there's no medicine, there's no nothing. All we really gotta do is just accept it and do what we want to do until we inevitably pass. And that's basically what Dark Souls is. It's like, you are the person, you are the cancer to what that village was. They know inevitably they will die. What can they do? It's a really fucking dark story, and that's why most of the music in Dark Souls is dark. It's sad music, it's dark music, it's kind of a mix of both sometimes, and every now and then hints of intensity, because inevitably they will die. It is a dark story, so it needs to have dark music.
prime example of what I said, Yorm. He was a giant general who commanded his legion. But instead of going out, continuing to like generalize, he went home upon the like bodies of his dead soldiers. And
Yeah.
he did this because he wanted to show the people who doubted him that he did it. He went home instead of continuing to rule. He just sat down and waited. Because there's not much you can do. When you know you have an inevitable fate. Honestly, it's like the snail thing. But you know it's not gonna last forever.
Exactly.
You know
Don't want to even try and stop it.
that. And he fights back because he doesn't want to like die without
Just die.
trying
Like,
to save or do anything about it.
no one
And
wants to die like that.
he has such a sad backstory. It's good too. Like there's a whole meaning behind his weapon and shit. Like his weapon has 2 notches for hands because he once had a shield, but he lost his best friend, so he put down the shield that protected him, and then created his weapon to like be used more.
Yeah.
He was angry and sad, and it's if you read the descriptions of things, it tells a huge story in the little amount that you get. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the one thing that most Souls games do the best. Storytelling. No matter what, storytelling is like key for Souls-like games.
I can't die like this, can I? Okay.
And I also think a lot of people underestimate how much like a good story impacts a game, especially like shooters, like the old COD games. Like whenever Soap passed, whenever he died, that shit hit hard growing up. No?
Yeah, but this is gonna sound stupid, but the one thing I didn't like about the new Modern Warfare games, and did like, is that they didn't kill them.
Yeah.
Like, Ghost lived in Modern Warfare 2. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, Ghost got to live. But that's not the story that I know. That's not what I'm used to.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that, like, granted, yes, they are alive, but it's like, they died last time. So now I'm just kind of wondering, will they die? Will I have to relive that? So now we're like constantly on the edges of our seat, just like shit. Are we gonna watch them die next game, or are they going to die soon, or like, what's going to happen?
Are they gonna die in 4K TV?
I know. I don't want to see this happen. But I feel like if it does happen, I'll be more okay with it, I guess. That sounds really fucking morbid.
No, I agree. Like,
But
it happened once. If it happens again, it happens.
I just don't want them to change the
But then
story.
they change the story completely. Like, they go after a new person, and, like, hold on, you're supposed to be going after Makarov. But no, they're going after some cartel member lady, and then fucking ISIS. It's like, where's Makarov? Where's Price's anime?
Yeah.
It just changes it. It's weird.
I think a lot of games should focus more on story than anything. Personally, at least, I think a lot of games tend to overlook that fact because people nowadays, I guess you could say, really kind of prefer just gameplay. Like, I get that. I understand. I'm kind of one of those people. I would prefer to have really, really good gameplay and a mediocre story than having a downright amazing story, but having, like, the worst gameplay imaginable. But if you are a good game company, you make good games, you know you make good games, a lot of people like your games, why not spend that little extra time on making the story good? I mean, think of like Last of Us or any basic like God of War too, the newest
God
one,
of War
and
was an equal of gameplay and story.
exactly. And same thing with The Last of Us. Personally, I think it did a really, really good job mixing the balance between the survival gameplay with the fucking really good story. Like, I mean, for fuck's sakes, the story was so good they was able to make a show out of it, and it still is really goddamn good. And it's still having a next season coming out here soon. Like, overall, I think the biggest part, besides all the music, besides all the graphics, and all this crazy shit with the game, it has to be the story. And if it isn't the story, and if it isn't the graphics, any of that, it's probably got to be just gameplay. Because if it's a game strictly designed to be played, not really story-wise or anything, you can go for gameplay. Like, for instance, like, let's say random games like fucking, I don't know, Minecraft, right? That game doesn't really have a story. Yeah, it does have lore, but no one really goes into it. It's kind of meant to just be played. It's meant to have your creativity make the game. That's what this whole point is. That's why there's not really a story to it. But then there's games like Call of Duty or Last of Us, God of War, other games like that have a story, a real like story aesthetic and a really deep lore. Like, even like the FNAF games, they have an insanely deep lore pool. And the main reason why those games are beloved so much is because of the lore and the story. God of War did a fucking 10 out of 10 job in a lot of people's eyes of mixing really good gameplay and fucking phenomenal story, and even graphics look really fucking great. Especially in the reboot of the franchise, they're taking a lot less of a violent approach and more of a calm Kratos. Looks really, really good.
I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the God of War game. Not the most recent one, but the last one.
Yeah.
They could have done more with it. Like, God of War, if you think about God of War, you think about Kratos killing gods. And that's what they did good on the second God of War, like, new game. But on the new, like, the 2019 one or 2022 one, they didn't really do that. And it didn't feel like, to me, at least, like a God of War game. It felt like a Who's Your Daddy game.
Yeah. And I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, if you played or, like, watched the original games and just kind of seeing Kratos go from a very broken man, like, the last game before they made him go into Norse mythology, he was very broken. He was insanely broken. Like, he had basically no morals. He would kill anyone just because they got in the way. He was very rude and just overall not good. Like, whenever you were playing Kratos, you weren't playing good guy. He didn't really do anything. He was just very aggressive and senseless violence, and seeing Kratos in the newer games realize what he did and realizing what he has done kind of allows you to understand it's not just a game character anymore. Like, it's a full-blown story. And that's what they were doing. They were making the game go from this stupidly aggressive and senseless violence and making the character realize what he's done, realize who he's hurt and who he's going to hurt if he continues doing this. And now that his wife is dead and he has a kid now, he doesn't want to hurt the kid. So he's going to try his best to become the dad he needs to be. And that is why a lot of the original fans are fucking in love with the new Kratos. I am one of them. The new Kratos is fucking great because of that reason. It shows the best, in my opinion, one of the best character developments I've ever seen.
I like the new Kratos. I like that he's calm. But if I think about Kratos, and really, it wasn't even all his fault at all. Like, he was blinded by rage because God said, "Fuck you."
Zeus. His father. Shit.
And yeah, it kind of weakened him now that he got a little bit softer, right? Because he used to be.
His rage is coming back, though.
I would admit, God of War 3 Kratos would absolutely curb stomp Doomslayer. Like, without any trouble at all. But I feel like Beard Kratos could fight him. He wouldn't win, but he would put up somewhat of a fight. Not a very
I honestly
good
feel like
one.
Kratos would be able to win more as like that Kratos. I think that Kratos could have a better chance fighting him than pissed off Kratos. Strictly because Kratos now
He'd be able to think more.
has so much more control over his rage and his powers, and so much more control over his mind. Like, overall, he's just a better soldier because of that reason. Him being blinded by rage, not only was he able to be completely unstoppable because of it, but he was able to be tricked a lot easier because he just didn't care. And if he was to do that, Doomslayer would be like, oh shit, this dude fights a lot like me, basically, just kind of go in there by blind rage. And Doomslayer nowadays, he now knows how to not do that, so he would take advantage of it.
I think they both have. After their, like, 2016 Doomslayer, he had a lot of rage, but he was not blinded by it. Like, he could not be tricked. He was smart. But I would say that he was stronger than this Doomslayer. Well, maybe not, but I feel like strength-wise, yes. Smart-wise, no. This Doomslayer, the current one, had plenty of time to think. He's researched, he's done a lot of thinking instead of like...
Just kind of going in there, guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Fucking up everything in the process.
2016 Doomslayer, when he didn't understand something, he fucking broke it.
Yeah. That's a Slayer for you.
Like, thing, fuel cells that you have to like find. Now Doomslayer, like, oh yeah, just gotta push this button. That Doomslayer punched it,
kicked it in.
Kicked it.
Yeah. And that's basically the exact same thing with the newer Kratos, because of him just realizing, oh shit, violence isn't always the fucking answer when it comes to just basic inanimate objects.
Until it comes to a fucking chest, he goes,
oh boy.
that poor chest is nothing.
That chest meets the god he once was. And another thing I really like the idea of, this sounds really fucking rude and I'm like really fucked up, but just hear me out, right? So, the new Kratos, he has his own kid, we all know it. We all know him as boy or Atreus, one of the two. And you know how most parents are when it comes to their kids. Very
Take that
fucking
kid, they'll do
protective.
anything.
And Kratos has stated it multiple times before and has continued to state it, if anything happens to Atreus, he's going to fucking snap. He has gotten so attached to this kid, because it's his own kid. I mean, for fuck's sake, he even hugs him in the newest game, which is fucking adorable, by the way.
Odin was a prime example there. He manipulated, tricked, and hurt Atreus, and Kratos wasn't having any of it, dog.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's another reason why they went for it, because Kratos is now able to kind of have a reason to do it again, and he's able to heal too, as well. Like, it's able to show us that he is still capable of doing what he's done beforehand, and showing us that he's gotten better over time, but it's also starting to get worse. I mean, he's mentioned it in the game before. He's starting to not be able to control it anymore. His anger's coming back. He's having more anger issues, and if he has anger issues, he's bipolar. Oh boy, we're kind of fucked. And
He did. I did like the part in the that one sentimental scene where he took off all of his weapons, his armor, and just let it out.
yeah,
It's not very common that you see a guy, especially a god of fucking war, just cry. It's not very common
Very well, then
to see a man cry. And Kratos, he bottles up his emotions. He doesn't let anybody really see
mainly
them.
because if he doesn't, it just kind of breaks things. He's hurt people he's loved because of it.
And to see that he's
Farewell, Ashley.
Healing.
able to be comfortable to like actually show some emotion other than
Hatred.
melancholy and hatred just shows how much of a
Pretty big.
character growth he's had.
Exactly. And that's
I
why
would- I wouldn't say the same thing for Doomslayer, because he hasn't really changed,
he's just more
but he spoke.
smart. Oh yeah, he did speak too.
That's something. He ain't supposed to do that. He struck down.
Himself, kind of.
He killed the only thing that can kill him. Himself. Which not only was badass, but
Yeah.
says something. Nothing
He tells
can
him
kill
no.
him.
It's just no.
Have you any words for your creator?
Any
No.
last words for your creator before you strike him
Strike
down?
him down.
And he just goes, no. And stabs him
But
to the
also
chest.
proves that nothing can kill the Doomslayer but himself.
Mhm.
I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, I think out of every single Kratos I have ever seen, this one is my all-time favorite. Mainly because it doesn't just feel like a game character anymore. It legitimately feels like a story. A legitimate story. I feel like, one of the only other games I can think of besides Red Dead Redemption 2 being a movie or a show, God of War has to be one.
I'd like that. That'd be a good show.
Like, I would
They did
kill
Doom
to have
dirty.
it. Oh yeah, poor Doom movies, dude. None of them were actual,
I'm not even saying
like...
this to be sexist, but a woman Doomslayer, come on.
Like, none of them
I-
were actually fucking made by, like, a community who liked Doom. It was only for cash grabs. That was literally it. But when it came to, like, The Last of Us, the literal developer of the fucking game was developing the movie. Not the movie, the show. Like,
They're like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Let's see.
exactly. And I feel like if they were to do that again, with Doom or with God of War or Red Dead Redemption 2, it would actually be a fucking phenomenal movie. Now, yet again, how the fuck will they manage to make the glory kills into the movie or anything like that at all? I have no fucking clue. But it'll be awesome. See. I will admit, though, out of every single video game character I know, I personally think, when it comes to story, not gameplay, it has to be Kratos, my all-time favorite. Don't get me wrong, Doomslayer's story is fucking great. It's really funny sometimes, it's sort of, well, it's dark, it's kind of sad, it's also kind of lovely in a way, but Kratos' story is like a whole, like from his day one premiere, from his older games, from the PlayStation's 2, PlayStation 1, all the way to PlayStation 3, all the way up to PlayStation 5, overall just looks and just is fucking phenomenal. His character development as a whole is so strong and just really good. It's like, how can you not like Kratos as of how he is now? It's physically not possible for me.
Slayer and Kratos are the same person. They started off as a soldier. They were taken to a new place. Their family and wife, children got killed. They got pissed off, went back to that place, killed the things there, and came out as a better person. Doomslayer is getting help or accepting help from other people. Doombro, Vega, fucking Robot Man. While Kratos is also accepting help from Brock or Sigurd or whatever the fuck his name was, his son.
Trace.
They are the same person, but different at the same time.
Oh, they're way fucking different.
Way
Like-
different, but have the same story.
They have the same style of story, but they are different in so many ways.
One uses
Like-
guns, other use axe and go rawr.
One, one's a literal fucking god.
Well, I wouldn't say Kratos is a god. I'd say he's a demigod like Hercules. Because he wasn't a god originally. He was a Spartan soldier. And then Ares was like, hey, you want to see something cool? Bzzz. And now he has godlike powers. Same thing with Doomslayer. He was a soldier.
Well, he
Some
did
random
die
fucker
and
was
go
like,
and climb
"You
his
wanna see
ass
something cool?"
out of hell without powers.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool feat. I don't know anybody else who could do that.
I'm just saying, like, as a whole, like, Doomslayer did that, yes. But he did that out of just blind fucking adrenaline and rage. And Kratos was just like, man, why?
Why do that?
And climbed his ass out of there and got his powers back. And then he did it again.
Robot Man was like, hey, you want to see something cool? Now you're a god.
And then there was also another time, like, how was, like, you know, the only difference between, like, the family death and shit with Doomslayer and Kratos is two
He
things.
didn't care about his family. He cared about his bunny, which kind of hurts.
Oh, Doomslayer did
What?
care about his family. It was just more of like, damn, Eve, my bunny.
That
But
was just salt into injury.
yeah, and Kratos, though, he cared for his family at the time, and that's why he was doing it. He was trying to spend his family. But when he came back, the gods were like, you know what? Fuck you. You did all this shit. So killed them by burning the house down in front of you and then taking the ashes of the corpse and embedding it into your skin.
Hold on, didn't Kratos kill his family?
Yes, that's what they made him believe. That's why he was filled with all this guilt. him going against the gods, denying what they told him to do, made them burn down the house, and they blamed it on him, saying, if you did what we told, you wouldn't have had this fate happen to your family. So him having that guilt, believing that was his fault for not doing what the gods said, that's why he has all that guilt. And that's why those ashes are still on there. The ashes were meant to fade once his guilt was starting to deplete. And that is why you can start seeing in the game his ashes are not as potent, they're not as vibrant as they used to be, like from the last game. They're much less white, basically. They're a lot less vibrant. You can actually see them starting to fall off. So in the next game, there's a huge possibility of us seeing Kratos back to his natural skin color without being covered in ash. And that's the only difference I can think of between the two. Doomslayer, yes, his
Wasn't
family
Doomslayer
was murdered.
cursed to fight the forces of hell for all eternity?
Kind of. He kind of brought it upon himself, though, so, like, suck.
Well, how can he have brought it upon himself? He was just a soldier who had his family killed, sent to the fiery pits of hell, and then dragged there.
No, he didn't get sent there. He chose to go there.
What do you mean?
Like, in the game, you can even hear it happen. Like, in, like, lore shit, you can even read it. But basically, whenever he went to Mars, is whenever hell opened up. That's why he went there. That's why he was a soldier. So, him going there was like, oh shit, demons kill everyone. He's like, I'm a soldier, I need to protect Earth. So his whole point in his mind was, if I went into the portal of hell and closed it behind me in time, I could save Earth and my family. So him jumping into the portal of hell and closing it from behind him, forcing himself to fight in hell for all eternity, knowing in his mind that his family and Earth was safe, only to immediately be dragged out and realize his family and his pet bunny and the entirety of Earth was basically just fucking murdered because he didn't do it fast enough. He decided right then and there he was going to get revenge on hell itself, so that's why he, quote-unquote, was cursed, because he cursed himself. He decided
He feels
that was
the
his fate.
guilt because he didn't do it fast enough.
He
So
made his fate
he's
that.
going to do that.
So, like, his fate was decided by him. So he wasn't
The
cursed
cool thing
by
is
someone. He did
he
it.
doesn't even do it for the fame. Like, everybody,
Knows
you
him.
can listen to the logs, right? Like in that
They
one
treat him as a
mission,
god.
They're like, he is the savior, he is an angel of death.
You don't
He
care.
will be here to save us all. He's like, what?
I don't know who you are.
You guys like me, but I'm only doing this because my bunny died, and I feel bad because I could have saved most of you, and, well, it didn't work.
Yeah. And Kratos is basically the exact same thing, but to a less degree. He didn't try to do like that. He didn't purposely try to save his family or anything like that. He just went against the gods, thinking that he could just basically say no, and if they just like, oh shit, well, guess no. So basically, it is technically his fault his family was murdered, which is why he has that huge amount of guilt. And that's also another reason why he's so calm now. He doesn't want it to happen to Atreus. He doesn't want his own fate to manage to kill his own son. But the main difference there is that Doomslayer, his intentions was to save his family, and he failed. Kratos' intentions was to defy the gods, which inevitably got his family murdered because he defied the gods. See where I'm going here?
Doomslayer saved the world. He tried to. And is continuing to try to.
He technically did at the end of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. After he killed the the Dark Lord, he saved the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Hell invasion was everywhere. Normally in video games, it's like, oh yeah, San Francisco's fucked. But this was.
Man, you know, now I'm thinking about it, you're fucking right. Goddamn. What does San Francisco do?
Doomslayer was like, aha, Fucking San Francisco, China, America,
Florida.
Turkey, Hungary, everywhere. Fucked.
That one
I'm
island
gonna
named
go
Milk
beat
Island.
the shit out of a god and see if that helps.
Yeah, and that's like the only difference between the two. Doomslayer's intentions, and at first, was to save people, and Kratos's was not. He was kind of like, "Fuck you, Dad! I'm gonna rebel." Shit hit the fan.
Oh shit. Hey buddy, you don't see me, do you? You're looking directly at me, but you don't see me.
If I just stand perfectly still, they won't see me.
I'm just gonna walk past you, homie. Shit.
It's like that one time where we were watching, like, you were like, "Hey, if you just do this thing, you get a free death blow," and the tall troll guy was locked, and I failed, so I was just like, and just kind of walk up the side without him seeing me. That was a great moment. You were so surprised I pulled that off.
Surprised at a lot of things you do in new games that I've played. 'Cause you normally do things that I don't, and I'm like, you're doing this wrong, and you're not.
I do it right, and you're just like, "What the fuck? Shouldn't work like that."
That's not how I did it.
How
I
the fuck?
had to do 3 backflips, a somersault, and a handstand. You just walked up to him.
Yeah, I had that effect on people.
You just make things look so simple. And they are. Maybe I just overcomplicate things. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Nah.
Ouch! Don't do that.
What? I'm the
Remember,
problem.
like
I'm
those,
the problem. I'm the problem.
You know those like those stupid like people who are like, "It's not you, it's me," and they break up with you.
I know that a little too much, yeah?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying, "Ow."
Hey, don't do that. Eh.
Hey, don't do that.
So, dog bit me. I'd be like, hey, don't do that. And I beat them over the side of the head with, like, the guard of my sword, and he goes flying.
I know. That's how I'm.
But the weird thing is, I didn't even do a full swing. I hit the, like, edge of a railing. Motherfucker flew. You ever seen a bitch fly? I'll show you.
Bitch went south for the winter. I love that Spanish clip. That's
Out of
fucking
the way,
great.
South man.
By the way, I just realized we've been sitting here talking about random games and shit for nearly 3 hours.
15 minutes.
Man, we really should have a podcast at this point.
I think so too. It would be so successful.
You know what? One day in the future, once we are like moved out and shit and have like our own like chef and all that, I think we should make one. Like officially.
I think I'm making one in my fucking YouTube channel right now. Like on accident. Podcast featuring Bell with Subway Surfer gameplay.
I remember that one time I installed Subway Surfer just to make a bit.
Alright,
I did
the only
leave it
reason why
immediately
we can
afterwards.
talk, we gotta play Subway Surfer. Oh no, we weren't making a bit. We made a bet. It wasn't an I, it was an E. I said, I bet you couldn't beat my score, and you're like, bet. And you installed it.
Yeah. Listen.
Did you do
Yeah, I
it?
do. No.
Huh.
I tried, but I didn't. I actually
I'm the
played it
real
unironically
hope
for
here.
3 hours. Chip's kind of fucked, dude. I think I'm dying.
Whoa. Whoa. Ow. What the fuck? You just poked me?
Yes.
Ow!
Poke, poke.
Aren't you supposed to be doing a lot more damage?
No.
Oh, yep. Okay, I'm sorry. Ow. Ow. Okay, you can stop now. Okay. calm down, buddy. Jesus Christ, I can't see. Motherfucker!
Hey, we're supposed to be doing a lot more damage. Ow. I'm sorry for asking.
It's the same damn thing with the bee. Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. There you are? Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. I've been saying goodness gracious a lot. I think I'm broken. Not like emotionally, like yeah.
I'm
I
just
think
broke.
I'm broken.
I think I fucking died. I think I'm like exploding internally. Yeah, that's right. My appendix ruptured. I'm gonna die within 5 minutes. You're right. Fuck death. I'm
gonna have sexual relations with the figure named Death.
Yo, you're like
Yes.
fucking Deadpool? That's cool.
I am. I just kicked the Pope in the dick.
I just kicked the Pope in the dick. Never heard someone say something that like. He said that's so genuine.
Down the neck?
Nah.
Look, I'm not that much of a fucking problem. I just want to get past that door behind me. It's not even a fucking door, it's a window. Let me kill myself, please. I swear, I do rolling, and it don't matter. What the fuck? Okay, bye.
Fuck.
You can hit it when you roll, and then it just does nothing, and they still hit you.
Yes. Damn it.
Man, why? Can I live, please? You poked the
No.
fucking idiot. I'm gonna run the fuck away, and then I'm gonna, like, power up. I'm now on fire. Help me,
I
please.
see where they run. Did you just say I am now on fire? Help me, please.
Well, say it.
After powering up. I think it's
Well,
like.
I think using an ember sets me on fire because my clothes are on fire.
You think so? Like some random anime weeb is when they set their hair on fire, trying to be like Goku.
Yeah.
You just fucking die.
Okay, you can't
Yeah, that'd be a
sort of stand
hilarious
there.
sight to
Okay.
see.
This ain't JoJo Bizarre Adventure, this is K-Game's Ultimate Adventure.
Damn, I could.
God, the music is
I
so
would watch
loud.
that. Take Game's Ultimate Adventure.
You fucking idiot. I can see into the future now. I know what you're gonna do.
You Buddha?
Do it. Oh, wait, I want to do it.
Holy shit, it's Buddha.
I can see your soul. Ah! You got a gun?
I thought you could see into the future.
You can't see a fucking bullet.
You got a gun?
That fight was so badass, though.
That was a fucking goated fight. I still think my favorite has to be Jack the Ripper and Hercules now.
What's that?
I'm just probably really biased, but is he good?
Please!
I clicked off the screen for a couple seconds and now I'm missing everything. Fuck.
One punches, please! No, not the gun!
Oh my god.
This boss fight is terrifying. Wait, no, it's fucking idiot. I mean, I rolled, but like... Oh, do it. Oh, this idiot. Ow! Pontiff means like supreme like hope or something. Die. Yes, eat shit. Eat my balls.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Calm down. Don't tear up
I'm
hernia.
the Pope, motherfucker. I'm the Pope.
I'm the Pope, motherfucker. I'm the Pope.
I got the hat and everything. No, I don't. I sold it. It was like 1,000 souls. Can you blame me?
No.
I hate Pontiff so much. That's my least favorite boss fight in this entire game. It's ironic how a pretty easy boss, right, is my least favorite, but my favorite in this entire game is the hardest boss in Souls.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Ah, you fucking missed, idiot. No, not the gun! I swear, fighting Pontiff Sullivan is like having an emotional roller coaster. You're perfectly fine, but like, you don't trust it.
Cold.
No, I'm not cold.
I'm
fucking
cold.
in shock.
Very
You can't be
then
cold.
Look, I'm a goddamn twig. I'm 5'0". I'm a twig. I can't do shit other than be cold, motherfucker. All I do is be freezing my balls off every 10 seconds.
Calm down, Beth.
How
You
the
didn't
fuck my
fight
fault?
Pontiff Sullivan.
Farewell, Ashen.
Shit, you right.
Oh my goodness gracious.
There you go again with the goodness gracious.
I think we're in the stream here. Pontiff Sullivan's... I don't know if I want to keep playing tonight after that. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Alright. Waka waka, fellas.
Waka waka.